Today on Things I Love, we're going to give you another top 10 list. It's all about Walt Disney World. Welcome back. Today we're talking all about Walt Disney World and specifically why I love WDW so much and the people I have to thank for it and why you should too. Yeah, that's right. You should love Walt Disney World too. First of all, let me thank all of our early subscribers. We've almost hit 70. Super excited about that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified of these positive videos every week. Well, give you a little history of why I love Walt Disney World so much. We're going to go back a little bit to my childhood. I love my parents and I'm thankful to them for instilling in me a love for toys. As you can see, I love toys, and I got a lot of them when I was a kid. They gave me Legos, they gave me Transformers, and G.I. Joes, and Star Wars, and some Disney things as well. But they instilled in me a love for toys, and that has grown to this day. They also instilled in me a love for church. And you're like, toys? Church? What's the connection? Well, they both gave me positivity in my life. I was at church every week and just loved the positivity that it brought to my life, all the way from my childhood into my youth group, and now as an adult I'm a pastor, and so obviously that meant a lot to me. And then we fast forward a little bit into my youth group age at my church. There was a man in our church, his name's Ron Caldwell. I love Ron Caldwell. He instilled in me a love for Disney. He saw that I was a child that was going through a rough time with my parents getting divorced when I was young, and he said, you know what, I'm going to take this guy under my wings and I'm going to take him to Disney. And he did that. Me and his son, we went to Disney in the late 80s, and my eyes were opened to Disney, all things Disney, and I've been a lover of Disney ever since. So thank you, Ron, for instilling that love in my life. And then fast forward a little bit more, I was about 15 years old, and a gentleman by the name of Alan Fortenberry came in and was our youth pastor at our church for 1 year only. But in that 1 year, he transformed my life, and I accepted Christ as my Savior. He took this punk skater kid and said, look, you've got something big in your life, and he pointed me towards Jesus. Look, I've been in church my whole life, but he pointed me towards Jesus and said, this is your Savior, and kind of opened my eyes to that. And you know what? This is the same as we're talking about toys, we're talking about church, we're talking about me accepting Christ as my Savior. It's all positive. It's all positive. And that's what we're talking about today. And so we fast forward in my love of Disney to the present day. And there's another guy that I love, and I've never met him, he's never met me, but he means a lot to me. His name is Lou Mongello over at WDWradio.com. Love you, Lou. You have instilled in me kind of this new resurgence of love for Disney and all things Walt Disney World. And I'm just thankful to you for that. So thank you, Lou, for that. So that's a little bit about my history and why I love Walt Disney World so much. And yeah, I talk about church, I talk about my relationship with Christ, and that I'm a pastor today, and that I love toys, and then, it's all connected. Imagine that God knew what he was doing when he made me, and it's all connected. And so right now I want to jump into a top 10 list of why I specifically love Walt Disney World. So you got Disneyland in California, you got WDW, or Walt Disney World, in Florida. And I have been to Walt Disney World, I think 4 times now, and then Disneyland once when I was young, and no, I've been 5 times because I went in high school with marching band there, and so I've been a decent amount of times. I would go every day if I could, but I love Walt Disney World, and so we're going to get into a top 10 list of why, and I believe that you're going to want to make your next vacation to Walt Disney World. Number one is convenience. It is super convenient to go to Walt Disney World. And let me explain that real quick by getting into number 2 and number 3. But when you show up in the airport there in Orlando, if you've gotten kind of the package through Disney, which I highly recommend that you go to the Disney website. I'll be putting all of these website links in the show notes so you can go there. But if you get everything through them, then you're going to be greeted by the Magical Express bus driver, and even before that, somebody checking you in. But you'll kind of get on the Magical Express, and they'll take you to your hotel, and all your luggage will go ahead of you, or maybe a few hours later. But within that day, it'll be there. Just super convenient. You don't have to think about anything. It's all ready to go for you. You've got your magic band that you wear. I've got those right back here. There's my magic band, and that kind of gets you into everything. Gets you into your hotel room, gets you into the rides, gets you your fast passes and everything. Just an awesome tool there. So it's convenient. So number 2, under convenience, is resorts. Resorts are amazing. There are a lot of resorts at Disney World. Everything from value resort to moderate to deluxe. And we've stayed at value most of the time, but we got upgraded one time to the deluxe, to the Polynesian, the Poly. And that was amazing. We loved it. But we mostly stay at the Pop Century. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about that, because you may think value resort, oh, it's going to be super cheap and I'm not going to want to go there. But it's amazing. Pop Century Hotel is amazing. It's divided into different centuries, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, 80s, 90s. It's got pools in all those areas. It's got food court, great shopping area, got arcade, just lots of cool stuff. And for me, it's super nostalgic with the eras, but also I grew up going to motels with my parents, and so you would go to your motel room on the outside of the building instead of the inside. And so loved it. I was thankful to get that upgrade to the Polynesian for free that year. It was awesome. I don't know why we got it. They called us and said, "You want an upgrade?" We said, "Yep." So if they do that, say yes, because the deluxes are amazing. But you can go for under $200 a night to a value resort, and it's just amazing. One time we even stayed for like $130 a night, and depending on the time of year that you go, you can do that. So I highly recommend the Pop Century and value resorts at Disney. Everything Disney is amazing, so value resorts are still going to be amazing. With that is transportation. I talked about the Magical Express. It'll take you from the airport to the hotel. But there's buses at the resorts that'll take you straight to all the parks. There's boats. They're about to have the gondola system called the Disney Skyliner that is about to have a run from Disney's Pop Century and Art of Animation to Hollywood Studios, to Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, Disney's Riviera Resort, and then over to Epcot. So you can, at staying at the Pop Century, we can get to 2 parks through this Skyliner, which is kind of like if you've been skiing, the ski lifts, but it's enclosed, and it's kind of a gondola system, and you can see out over the parks. And I want to go just for that as an attraction, and it's free. And, all these transportation options that I'm talking about are free. Now you can pay a little bit more and get like the minivans, cute vans that are painted all like Minnie Mouse. And those are by Lyft, and so you pay a little bit for those, but it's not much. But everything else is free, and so the transportation system is awesome. All right. Number 4, food. I'm a foodie. I love food, and so you look. Disney resorts are amazing food. It's not just burgers and chicken nuggets anymore. I'm not sure if it ever was there, but it's not like any other theme parks that you've been to. Just amazing food. You can spend a lot of money on food. You can spend a little money on food. That's all going to be amazing. Just like when you lived in New York City, you can get a slice on the street for a couple bucks, or you can go to a nice swanky restaurant. Same thing at Disney. It's really good food across the board. We've actually gone. This past October, we went to the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. It was kind of an accident. We were going over fall break. My wife's a teacher, so we kind of go when we can. And ended up that we were going during the festival, and I've always wanted to go during this festival. It was amazing. They give you this passport. You can kind of go through to the different kiosks, food kiosks, and put where you've eaten and what you liked, and pictures, and just a great souvenir that we have there as well for the Food and Wine Festival. But so cool, and I'll be honest with you, we spent less money that day than on food than we spent any other day. And it's because we would kind of go together, and I'd get something, and then the girls would get something, and Lisa would get something, and then we'd share it all. And then we'd walk a little bit more, and we'd find something else and get something, and we'd share it all. So it was all about the sharing for us, and it cost less, and we ate great. amazing. So food. Number 5, fun for all ages. Sounds super cliche, right? It is true. Fun for all ages. If you're a super macho guy and you're like, I can't go to Disney, you can. I'm telling you, find your inner child, make it to Disney, and you will love it. Or go to Disney saying, I'm not going to love this. And I'm telling you, you'll find your inner child there. It is fun for all ages. There are thrill rides. Finally got my family on the Hollywood Tower of Terror at Disney Hollywood Studios. Loved it. It was amazing. But there's also like slow boat rides. Like It's a Small World that I have to go on every time. It's super nostalgic. I love it. But there's everything, both into the spectrum, in between. You will have a great time. Number 6, fun for travelers. My family, big travelers. We've lived all over the place, it seems like. And then we've also traveled across the ocean in many different directions, to Asia, to Europe, to places. We love traveling. But if you go to Walt Disney World and go to Epcot, and go to, I love my Epcot poster right here, go to Epcot, and if you want to be a real throwback, you call it Epcot Center. But there's World Showcase there. And it's this place where at the back of Epcot where you go and you walk around the lake there, and you'll walk through these different countries' pavilions, and they've done an amazing job at making these look like the actual countries. In fact, the King of Morocco sent over his team of people to build Morocco to be just like Morocco. And so they've spared no expense on making this place amazing. Japan, China, Canada, UK, Mexico. I know I'm missing some, but there's a ton of great representations of countries there, and you will love it as a traveler, and it won't cost you near as much to go there as overseas. Number 7, music. I'm a music fan. I'm a worship pastor. Love music, and Disney music is some of the most fun music, and some of it's intense from the movies, and powerful and emotional, and love it. So I just find it on Spotify. You may have Apple Music. And then I've recently discovered, and this has been around for like 18 years I think, but somewhere around there, but I recently discovered Sorcerer's Radio. And you're out there going, I love Sorcerer's Radio. Check it out. I'll put the link in the show notes. Amazing. You get an app for your iOS, and what it does is it gives you real-time feeds from the parks, from the attractions, from the food courts, from various places. Just real-time feeds so you can feel like you're in the park at that moment in time, and it's a great time, a great thing to kind of use between your visits to the park. Great app, and then you can also go to sorcerersradio.com. Again, I'll put that link in the show notes. History is number 8. I love history. I'm just a huge history buff. There's so much history at WDW, from the nostalgia to the story of Walt Disney and his entrepreneurship, and if you go on Main Street, USA, at Magic Kingdom, in the windows of the buildings, you'll find people's names that have had something to do with the parks, Imagineers, or various people who have had influence on the parks. And so lots of history there. And I'm a movie buff too, so you kind of couple those together. It's great if you're into that. All right, number 9 is more recent, but it's acquisitions. Disney has acquired and is continuing to acquire names and companies and brands, and they've just done a great job. For me, a person in my age, it's just hitting all the buttons because they've acquired Lucasfilm, so Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and you can go on from there. Marvel more recently, actually a few years ago, but you're just now beginning to see it in the parks. And then most recently 20th Century Fox, just a huge library there. So these acquisitions are just kind of making Disney even better. And kind of hitting all those buttons for me and nostalgia and what I've grown up with, and so love it. Number 10, the last on our list, but certainly not last, is optimistic escapism. Optimistic escapism. I've got my shirt here. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow. You'll find that in the Magic Kingdom, and I love it. I love that Disney brings optimism in my life. I love that that when I'm going through a tough time, and we all are, I can leave it at the door at Disney and just escape for a while. I had somebody tell me one time that that's why they hated Disney World, was because it wasn't real. Well, that is absolutely why I love Disney. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And I love that, is that no matter what I'm going through, there is a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And that's why I mentioned church, and that's why I mentioned my relationship with Christ, is because it's all together. It brings hope in my life. My relationship with Christ is hopeful, it's joyful, and God created these things of the world for us to find joy and to find optimism. And so I just encourage you, whether you ever go to Walt Disney World or not, just to find that optimism and that joy in your life. But that's why I love WDW, and I believe that is why you should as well. But I want to hear from you. I want to hear what it is that you love about Walt Disney World. What did I miss? Oh, and Mark, you missed the churros. The churros are amazing. Well, it's in food. I did say food. But let me know in the comments what it is that you love about WDW, and I'm sure there's something that I've missed as well. I love the hidden Mickeys. I guess we could say that's number 11. You can't ever just have top 10. You got to go a little further. But I love the hidden Mickeys. The Mickeys everywhere that you can see hidden throughout the parks. But here's the thing. You say, why should I love Disney as much as you love Disney? Well, we all need joy in our lives. You need more joy in your life. I need more joy in my life, and that's why you should love Walt Disney World. Just go one time and you'll understand what I mean. And if you've been before, you already know, and you've already started working on your next trip there. So that's it. That's show number 7 here at Things I Love. And if you loved it today, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notifications bell to be able to get these every single week. And just kind of keep this positivity, this optimism in your life. This is why I love Walt Disney World. But I want to know why you love. So make sure you comment on that. Make sure you hit that like button. And let us know that you liked this video. I'm excited about the future. There is a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. Well, this is Things I Love with me, Mark Eddington. Just a little bit about me to help you be more you.